But anyways, let's jump in now to the 20 through 11 section of the Power Forward rankings. Starting off, we have number 20 of the Brooklyn Nets, Trevor Booker. Number 19, we have Ryan Anderson of the Houston Rockets. Mr. 40% from 3. We got number 18, Thaddeus Young of the Indiana Pacers. Then at 17, we got Derek Favors of the Utah Jazz. Number 16, we have Dario Saric, who really shouldn't be here, of the Philadelphia 76ers. Julius Randle of the Los Angeles Lakers at 15, to Dave's dismay. Number 14, we got Taj Gibson, the newest Minnesota Timberwolf. At number 13, we got Aaron Gordon, who started off last year as small forward, which was a huge mistake by the Orlando Magic. Shocker, the Magic made a mistake at number 13. Number 12, we got Mr. Felony himself, Zach Randolph of the Kings. And rounding out the top 20 through 11, we have Marcus Morris now of the Boston Celtics. So let's jump in. We got to clear some stuff up. Dario Saric is here. Most likely going to be the sixth man of Philadelphia. Probably not even going to start. Ben Simmons most likely going to be the starting power forward for the 76ers. Rocco going to be the starting small forward. We messed that up. So, again, we apologize. And then also, Zach Randolph, like I mentioned, got arrested for having 2 pounds, I believe, of marijuana on his possession.
There's something. He was over the limit. They charged him with this.
But it wasn't like a little.
I like how Sean says 2
over.
pounds, and Dave goes, I don't know about these numbers you're speaking.
It's a little foggy in my memory. He was over the legal limit for what you can have on you underneath a felony.
2 pounds of pot. He had 2 pounds of pot.
I mean,
he has
take that for data, Dave.
So he had 2 pounds left when they got there.
Yeah.
It was a block party.
Zach Randolph got arrested. That's all we're saying. Zach Randolph got arrested.
It's the NBA. They don't care about weed.
But the law does.
If he gets arrested,
he's going to get that turned down to a misdemeanor.
If he is found guilty, I believe he gets suspended for 10 games.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
just
10
saying.
games.
Just saying. Zach
NBA doesn't care about weed.
I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying that Zach Randolph got arrested for a felony, Dave.
I know.
Can't argue the fact that Zach Randolph got arrested for having 2 pounds of pot in his possession. I just want to throw it out there that Zach Randolph might not be starting for the Sacramento Kings, which I think is fair to say because he got arrested for a felony.
I mean, if we're giving people until January to play, I think he's counted as a starter. He's not going to miss half the season.
All right. Anyways, Zach Randolph is there at 12 for the Sacramento Kings. But looking at this, looking at all these players, I mean, Ryan Anderson serves a very true purpose. I mean, shot 40% from 3 on the
volume.
7 a game for the Rockets, the team with the most threes in NBA history. I mean, Ryan Anderson isn't going to move the needle defensively. He isn't going to add much. But these guys, at least from Ryan Anderson to, I'd probably say Thaddeus Young and Trevor Booker, they have a role on their team, but they're not going to really surpass that role. Am I wrong in saying that?
I mean, Ryan Anderson was a guy. Maybe this was in my head. I'm thinking, I'm not too high on Ryan Anderson. I had him at 23. And part of me is like, I don't want him too high in my rankings. But I feel like a part of it is a little bit of that bias of like, he was on the trade block. But then another part of it.
Well, that's because his contract.
But also nobody wanted him. And the contract was part of that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. There was that little bias in there of on the trade block that maybe in my mind bumped him down.
If you have the option of getting Carmelo Anthony and getting rid of Ryan Anderson, you're going to push that button 10 out of 10
I
times.
know. That's why I said a little bit of that bias.
Olympic Mello?
Hoodie Mello?
Hoodie Mello.
No, I think Ryan Anderson pretty much stayed the same for me. I had him at 13 last year. I had him at 14 this year. Obviously, you guys have him a little lower valued, but I just think role to team fit. Like you said, he is one of the best guys they could have at that position on the Rockets. Honestly, I like him more than guys like Derek Favors, who obviously had a bad last year due to injury. And I don't see him coming back and playing well alongside Gobert in his new role.
Why don't you see that happening? Because Rudy Gobert isn't known as a needle mover on offense.
No,
obviously
not.
They played together before last year and the year prior.
Right. I just don't think. I think the way the team has changed, I don't see them fitting great together. It's just spacing's not going to be amazing down low. And honestly, I don't like Favors. I don't think he is a quality player. And this comes from, don't even bring up last year because I overrated him so much last year.
But yeah, you put him at 5, and he got injured and was banged up.
Last year, to be fair, I did not watch as much basketball as I did this year. And I will look purely at stats, and I was like, 16 points, 8 boards? This guy's going to be great.
And he shoots over 50% a year.
Yep.
I mean, when he is healthy.
But he's not the guy you ride.
He's a dynamic.
Dynamic is too strong of a word.
Come on. You can't shoot 50% from the field and put up 16 points per game.
Dynamic is top 10.
We had him top 10 last year.
This year.
We had him top 10 last year. And he was injured.
Where'd you put him this year?
I put him at 13.
That's right, not top 10, not dynamic.
Because he's injured. I don't know how much that's going to be
right,
lingering.
and that's the same here.
I don't know. I feel like
think he's gonna be
Derek Favors,
dynamic
when
this
healthy,
year.
can be a dynamic post scorer. That's all I'm saying. Because he's proven it before. He was one before, and I think that he can do that again. And that's the reason why.
So they're going to be the team that wins through the block. Maybe the first team in the last 10 years.
I'm not saying he's going to be their number one scorer or the number one scoring option, but I feel like
Who else are they going to run that offense through?
Ricky Rubio.
Rodney Hood.
That was. Thank you.
Rodney Hood.
I mean, you're right, Rodney Hood, but then the Ricky Rubio line just killed it. Like,
I think you meant that
this
seriously.
is a team that's going to average like 80 points a game. Like,
But they also
they
hold
might
him to
win
like 60.
some.
They might hold him to like 60 points.
Yeah, they might win with
Hey,
those. but-
okay, you're ready to put Jumpin' Joe Ingles in the top
Jumpin'
20
Joe
of 20 of small forwards, but I can't put fucking Derek Favors, who's actually been an all-star before, I'm pretty sure, in the top 15.
Waiver and all?
I don't know if he was actually an all-star, but anyways, I feel like these guys, I mean, you have players that can really bounce up and like back and
stars.
forth. I mean, like there's some guys with potential here: Julius Randle, Aaron Gordon, Dario, obviously. Like those guys have potential, but like other than that, like Marcus Morris, we know what we're getting out of Marcus
It's a proven
Morris.
product, you know.
Zach Randolph, we know that he's getting older, and when he was at the top of his game, he was a dynamic post scorer, and he's a guy that brings so much grit to a team.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
Now
he's
he's
getting
solid
older.
in limited minutes. He's 36, or 35, 36, but still plays pretty well in as long as you keep his minutes to a fair amount, which he can because he's on a bad team now.
Yeah, and also they have a lot down there.
They've got
down
a lot
low.
of depth.
I mean, you have Papagiannis, you have Scale, you have a lot of players down there that can play for the Kings. So, I mean, at least with this, I mean, there's guys that can definitely jump. And out of the guys, you know, Aaron Gordon, I'll throw Julius Randle in there, Dario Saric.
Yeah.
Which guy can jump to the top 10?
You know, I think I'd just rule out Dara instantly because he's gonna be a 6-man, 7-man.
But I mean, we've seen how important like a guy like Andre Iguodala is. I mean, like Andre Iguodala at his peak, what he provides for the Warriors. If we're just ranking small forwards, Andre it could have been like really high up there in the small forward rankings.
I think I have. You got me in a rough place here because you got me between a Magic player and Julius Randle, both which I hate. That's a toughie.
But Aaron Gordon might be
Aaron Gordon at the 4.
best Magic player.
Yeah, I say Aaron Gordon at the 4. We got to specify the 4 because you know Magic fans get confused on where he actually plays. Maybe the coach just does. I think he's the guy who I have peaked with the most potential out of this group. Honestly, though, it's close between him and Julius Randle because they both have continued to grow. But the big question for me, Randle obviously is with him on the court. His handle is awful. Like the ball in his hands, you know, they want him to be basically Draymond Green Jr. He's not. He has nowhere near the ability to, you know, be a point forward as Draymond does. His shot's not quite the same.
No.
He's great on the boards, though. I'll give him that.
He's fantastic attacking.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fantastic attacking the boards. And I would say defensively, too. He's got the tools and the athleticism and the size.
He's got the weird arms,
to at least
though.
to be
'Cause his
there.
arms are actually shorter than, like, for his body.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have
got T-Rex arms.
He wouldn't be on the Bucks, is what we're saying. But I just feel like Randle maybe in that position, and Ricky, I know you're a huge Lonzo lover, so you should jump in on this.
Could Lonzo Ball help Randle get to the top 10?
I think Lonzo's going to help the entire team.
Okay.
Like the entire team.
We're talking about
Randle's on the
power
team.
forwards right now.
The entire team's going to get better, but with Randle, I wonder if it's going to be Lonzo directly helping Randle's game, or is it just going to be, you know what, Lonzo Ball on that team, the whole team got better.
Well, I mean, think about this. You got Brook Lopez spacing out the floor for him on offense, so he would be like the sole guy down low.
Because to me, the guy that Lonzo's going to help the most is the guy we talked about last week in Brandon Ingram.
Why do you think he would help?
Because
Brandon
I
Ingram
feel
more?
like they're the main two guys, and Lonzo's going to take some like Brandon Ingram came in, and he was supposed to be the guy, and everyone's like, "Oh my
D'Angelo
God!"
Russell was still more seen as the guy last year.
They've got Brandon Ingram. He's lanky, but all he's got to do is add strength, and he's going to be we kept saying the next KD. He's KD like in like how he is and exactly coming out frame wise. Now people are like, with Lonzo coming in, that'll take a little bit off Ingram. Ingram can just do his thing. With Randle, I kind of feel like it's not going to relate. Just having Lonzo on the team ain't going to relate in the same way. And Randall, I don't see him falling out of this. I don't see him going further up this. I think next year he'll stay between 11 and 20.
Do you think that you agree with what Ricky's saying? Do you disagree? What's going on, Dave?
I'm mixed feelings because I know like as far as impact for Lonzo Ball, and I don't want this to be the Lonzo Ball show, but I think Brook Lopez and Lonzo is like the number one pairing.
But one thing we got to say is most of these guys, they're going to be affected on how the ball moves and how the point guard moves.
And you think the more ball movement, the better.
Yeah, none of these guys are going to be,
the problem is when no one can make shots.
Not power forwards. None of these guys are going to be point forwards.
Right.
So, I mean, they all need the point guard to rely on them.
Yeah. Not Dario, but yeah.
Well, okay, you know what I'm saying, though. Like, pretty much every single player in this power forward ranking will not handle the ball at all times. Right. I mean, there's probably like 3 exceptions.
Yep.
So most of them rely on the point guard. So how is Julius Randle with Lonzo Ball on this team?
I think it's a clear impact because, like we talked about when discussing last year, their offense was completely D'Angelo centric. He was the guy with the ball in his hands, and it was 3-ball or bust to start that season. That's when they started off hot. They had great shooting, and it wasn't because he was having the ball down low. It was because he would get those rebounds and have good putbacks. He was very active, like you said, on the boards, pretty aggressive down low. I don't know this year with Lonzo Ball and the ball movement coming. I expect him to have more looks at least because it's not the same game plan. You have way too many different pieces. It is no longer, try to be the Warriors-esque for the first, couple games this season. I think they're going to find their own identity. So I think he will get more looks. He will get more touches. I think it's a direct, he goes up because Lonzo's there. I absolutely agree. I don't think he's the number one guy benefiting from Lonzo, but I think there's a clear association.
So with that, do you think that out of these players, Dario, Aaron Gordon, and then Julius Randle, he does have the best opportunity to jump?
Yeah, he does.
So, Ricky, you weren't really sure. You said that he wasn't going to move up. Would you? Who else would you say? Would it be Aaron Gordon has the best shot? Would it be Dario has the best shot? I mean, out of at least the young guys, unless you want to go with an old guy.
The guy I really want, and yet again, people are going to say this is my bias, but I really want to say Taj Gibson, only because coming into a team that yes, we overhyped him last year, probably going to overhype him a little bit coming into this year, especially with the additions that they made, bringing back the Minnesota Timberwolves. But the thing with Taj is coming back with a coach like Thibodeau, he's going to play again. Because last year, you got to understand with Taj, it was the most games that he started in his career, or besides his rookie season, was the most games he's ever started. And he basically took his stats from Thibodeau's last year and improved his scoring. A little few blocks, but improved his scoring. Kept everything similar with a few percentages better with free throws here and there. I feel like getting back, okay, I'm back with Jimmy. I'm back with Thibodeau. Maybe he makes a push, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But how would he make that push exactly? Because it's not like Taj Gibson's going to be the fourth option most likely offensively.
He's going to be the fourth option, and also
possibly
you got to think I look at his stats and I go, yeah, you know what? He had 6.9 rebounds, but then I go, now he's got Cat. He doesn't have Rolo. He's got Cat next to him. Cat's going to take some of those rebounds away from it. So, like I said, I want to say Taj because I like Taj and I like what he brings to the Timberwolves this season. However, overall, I kind of feel like maybe it's not shocking to say none of these guys move in the top 10.
It's not all based...
One will have to because Dirk will be gone, but maybe none of them.
It's not for sure Dirk will be gone.
Well, if he is gone, one's going to move up.
Pretty sure he signed a 2-year contract.
But
so
if he is gone because he retires, one of them's going to have to move up.
I think Taj is just more of that X factor. It's not a stat line. It's the mentality. It's the locker room guy. It's the glue guy. And that's why we rate him as high as he is because his stat line doesn't dictate that he should be 15 or whatever we've got him at. But what he brings to a team as a whole is much more than that stat line.
Especially off the bench.
That's what I want to say. Well, he's not even coming off the bench. He's going to be starting.
No, I know, but I look at his time. When you look at his time with the Bulls, he had 70 his rookie year, and then 15-16 and 16-17 with the Bulls, 55 start games. The rest, he was mostly a bench player.
Yeah, I mean, for half of his career, half of his career, played 585 total games. 245 of them has started. I mean, half of his career
was ahead of him.
Half of his career.
There's a reason why he wasn't starting.
Yeah.
But with Taj, I think it's the intangibles that you really can't say, like Dave was saying. But how much can we really rank this? Because, again, like when we talk about intangibles for a guard, it doesn't really matter because so many guards have the ball in their hands and they're making plays. The stat line is important because that's where it is.
Yeah.
So with power forwards, I mean, and probably centers too, I mean, when we're talking about intangibles, what intangibles are the most important for these guys from 11 to 30? Because we're probably going to get in superstar. We're going to get in the superstar range in the next segment. But these guys aren't superstars. All of them haven't been superstars in their career. So at least what is the intangible and the most recognizable intangible that you see out of all these players, or the most important intangible to have out of all these players for them to really be ranked high? Because right now, I mean, you look at the Morris brothers, they bring intensity, they bring defense, they bring rebounding, they bring that enforcer type. You look at Zach Randolph, he's brought that enforcer type and that rebounding before. Taj Gibson brings that defense and toughness mentality. Then you also look at Dario Saric, you look at Aaron Gordon, those guys bring athleticism, style. I mean, what is the most important intangible out of all these players?
I think honestly it comes down to leadership, and that's something where I look for the veterans. I look for these older guys like a Zach Randolph who has the chance to make an impact on a lot of younger guys on that team and be a leader for them going forward. And I know you don't want your leader to be getting a felony, but look, there are basketball leaders and then there are life leaders. Like Steph Curry's a great guy all around. Like that is fairly unique.
He's your life leader, is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying he's both.
Okay.
Like it's fairly
LeBron's
unique
both.
to have that. And yeah, our true superstars, we want them to be both. But at the end of the day, like you look at some basketball players, like that's a guy who I would love to learn the game of basketball from.
Like Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo, basketball, genius.
Probably
freaking
not
wizard.
the best
in real life. Probably not the guy I want to hang out with all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to be hanging out with Kobe off the court. I mean, at least early
That's
Kobe.
the thing.
Number
before
8
he
or number
matured.
24?
Number 8.
Oh my
Questions.
god.
Before he made the
Important
change.
questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be saying, but like,
For me, it's leadership. Yeah.
so I mean, Ricky, what would you say? Would you agree with its leadership on this?
Well, I like the thing with the leadership. I like what Taj brings with the leadership. Maybe that's it. Maybe with Taj, people could say, because I did have him ranked higher than both of you. I had him at 12 personally. Maybe you can look in. Hey, that's a little bit of Ricky's Bulls bias coming in and why he's up there. But
I mean, I had him 14.
Well,
it's not like
I
it's
know.
crazy. I think Taj brings a very important asset to this Timberwolves team that they didn't have.
The
He
thing
fits
that
him.
I look at is there's one player, I'm not going to say where he's ranked 'cause he's in our top 10, but Serge Ibaka. And I know that you're talking about intangibles, but I can't help but at least look at the stats. And when you look at their two stats, Taj and Serge, Serge just has 4 points more per game,
It's a lot.
about 0.5 rebounds, about 1 block, and the per is just 1.
But
One
he
and a
has
half.
that 3 ball.
Yes,
Yeah.
and,
And
that's
he has
the
that
thing.
weird length defensively.
Yeah, I mean, the difference
That's the
is
thing, like-
because
But
Taj
can Taj
is a
make up
leader.
for that with the leadership
No.
and with the off the court stuff?
No, because I'd rather have Serge on my team.
Yeah, it's that easy. Like I feel like there's only so much, and it's an intangible for a reason. Stats matter.
I think
just
it's
when it
what
comes
Tim
down to-
Duncan brought together the most. Because when you look at a
Yeah.
power forward, he had leadership and he fucking kicked ass on offense and defense.
Yep.
He was the best.
The big fundamental.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think Dirk did that too. Dirk was a leader. Dirk, I don't know if Dirk really brought it defensively, but Dirk was unreal offensively.